Okay, I'm live. Ah. Okay, it's much better now. And if I'm looking the wrong way, please excuse that. Because I'm trying a new setup. But anywho. So. I mean, you can see what I'm doing, but. This is dedicated for everybody that's in Ukraine who are just going through absolute unnecessary suffering. Because this is just unacceptable. It's just unacceptable. People do not need to be going through this. Nobody in Ukraine deserves this. Especially children and the innocent civilians being just killed. None of you deserve to go through this. None of you. And I have a friend who I have hope that she's okay. And she's actually funny. She's the one who actually taught me a little bit of Russian and the Ukrainian language. So, Vitalia, I hope you're okay. And I hope you'll be out of harm's way. But without further ado, let me do the script. Okay, yeah, hello, kiddo. So, essentially, the way I'm going to be going about this grid, I'm using, of course, as like the foundation, the Ukrainian flag. And on the Ukrainian flag, the first thing I'm going to put on top of it is the yantra of Saturn. And if you notice how it's blue and gold, get a little bit closer so you can kind of see. Like the edging has gold and the color is blue. Look at that. Blue and gold. Or yellow. Still. Blue and yellow. Not a coincidence. So you're probably thinking, why am I putting Saturn's yantra on the Ukrainian flag? Well, first, what is the point of having Saturn being involved? Of course, Saturn is the planet about duty, commitment, sacrifice, protection, order, structure, discipline, and having karmic justice be brought. But also, Saturn is a very rebellious planet. He's defiant. He pushes back anything that tries to get forced upon him. For example, say if somebody's trying to push you or like trying to drive you out of your space, a Saturnian individual will push back and defy and not allow them to be pushed away from where they stand. And of course, for Ukraine, that has to be taken seriously. And having the strong pushback to tell Russia, no, this is our land, you're not taking it from us. Exactly what Shani would do. Oh, you think you're going to get this? Huh? Really? Nope! So that'll be at the heart of the Ukrainian flag. Yep, it has been, Michael. But now, on top of Saturn's yantra, there would be another yantra. Funny enough, there's another planet that has the same coloration as the Ukraine flag and Saturn. Of all the planets, I hope this thing will be able to focus. And this is the, well, maybe I'll try this. This is the yantra of Venus. And if you notice, there's blue. Blue on the sides, and it's also outlined in gold. And here we go again. Ukrainian colors are present, just like in Saturn's yuntra. So now what is Venus going to be doing, getting involved? Of course, usually when we hear Venus, we think, okay, love, beauty, appreciation, creative expression, and the everyday comforting of the world, like comforting gifts of the world, the senses being pleased and the whatnot. But we're kind of going about the idea of the true meaning with Venus. Venus as a planet, according to Vedic astrology, is the planet that can bring those that are suffering out of death. Pretty much Venus can resurrect that what falls. And as well, Venus is also the highest form of devotion. The purest quality of Venus is devotion to the highest degree. And what is the highest degree that essentially a civilian of a country can do? Lay down their life to ensure that their country stays standing, willing to sacrifice themselves for their nation to still stand. That is a high level of devotion and commitment. So at the heart of it'll go Ukrainian flag, and then in the center is Shani's yantra, right in the middle, and then right in the middle of Shani's yantra will be Venus's yantra. So in essence, it'll look a little bit like so. We'll try and hold it up. So essentially, it's going to look somewhat like that. You'll see how it's just all woven together. So at the very center, I'm going to put this piece of apophyllite. Now, apophyllite as a stone is pretty much the same purification and purity and cleansing and banishing of negativity equal to that of selenite, but apophyllite takes it up a notch. It is, I would have to say, of all the cleansing stones, this one is the second strongest out of all. And that will go right in the center of Venus's yantra. And then from there, let me get my clipboard on there. Surrounding the apophyllite will be clear quartz points, all pointing directly in all directions. And intuitively, I don't know why I have to say this, but it just something just decided to just poke at me and say, hey, say this. So I'm going to say it. If for any reason you feel it is just, and if you need to, I don't know how to put this in a nice way. If you feel that you have to do something to thwart this crystal grid or cause any kind of harm and mitigate it, no, sorry, not feeling it. You can keep your malefic and kind of unnecessary viewpoint of thinking that you're just going to stop this necessary assistance to this nation. No, sorry. It's not wanted here. Because people do not need to be suffering anymore. Enough's enough. And if you have any kind of other opinion, you're free to scoochie your tushy out. So. 1, 2, okay. Now, I'm going to take now a piece of shungite. And if you're not familiar with shungite is a stone that is essentially like how there's in fish tanks bottom feeders, like they actually feed on the algae and the whatnot. Essentially, that's what shungite does. It transmutes it. It pulls in any kind of negative energy, pulls it in, filters it, and flips it. Then directly opposite will be a selenite tower. So now we have transmutation that comes in this way, would be pretty much taken from its malefic intent to its pure intent. And then the selenite tower to pretty much oversee and ensure no any unnecessary BS also comes out of it. Then on the sides, two selenite. Well, it used to be a selenite palm stone, but split into two. This too will also be put on side to side for the same reason as the towers there. And oh yeah, we're not done yet. Then to also add on top of it, as the first layer, I will now actually surround from the shungite pyramid all the way around. I might switch it over just a little bit to the left, just a tad. So from right here, from the selenite tower all the way to the front of the shungite piece, I'm now going to surround it with snow quartz. And snow quartz already has like the qualities of regular clear quartz. However, since snow quartz also has the quality of restricting and the Saturnian quality of keeping something detained and ever the same. So I'm now just going to simply put it all around. So then we have that, but oh, we're not done yet. No. Then from there, I'm now going to grab some black obsidian. For some reason, also got a piece of a dragon, and also for some reason also bloodstone. I don't know how that got in there. Okay. So now I'm going to take the black obsidian and now actually surround the Ukrainian flag. And black obsidian is a stone that it's actually regarded for its protection qualities, but in this case, any malefic or baneful intended force, regardless of who it is, where it comes from, that goes towards Ukraine will actually have their influence or what have they, it actually be absorbed and completely mitigated. Completely. Like, nope. We don't got time for that BS. Get it out of here. None of that. Mm-mm. So then we have it like that. So completely surrounding it is now a black obsidian, but but just for a little giggly. Like how Billy Mays that what the heck's that called? Pretty much like that infomercial kind of a whatever the heck that kind of profession is. Like being in like one of those infomercials, like if you do this now, I know, or then just quoting with but wait, there's more. I'm not stopping yet. Nope. So now I'm actually going to be adding in between as many of these obsidian pieces that I can fit. I'm going to be adding in pieces of selenite to kind of actually surround the Ukrainian with selenite as well. So we will pretty much have this flag completely surrounded with protection. Okay, so good to go. One there. And if any of you are actually also familiar, just coincidentally, if you're familiar with the holiday it is over, or like the specific day it is over in India right now regarding Lord Shiva, but if you're not aware, today is actually one of the most auspicious and most powerful days regarding any kind of working that has Lord Shiva involved. And yeah, you can kind of guess where this is going. Yep. And bada boom. So now we have it completely surrounded as such. That now we're going to take all the other obsidian pieces that are over here just floating and we're actually get them more involved in the grid. So on the four corners, there's going to be black obsidian, also keeping extra protection layer. And then from there, just going to work my way in and trying to make all sides have perfect. That's going to sound like a bit of a tongue twister. Make sure that every side has equilibrium, meaning that everything is perfectly balanced. And if you're familiar with algebra, which if you are, and if you know this rule, I sympathize because algebra is a pain in the tush. As the rule goes, what you do to one side, you must do to the other. No ifs, ands, buts, or tushies. You must do it. So, and one stone quartz there, another one there, another one up there, another one up there. Going to take some more clear quartz points on the sides pointing from the black obsidians, now pointing towards the grid, towards the center. I'm actually going to switch the Shungite piece, relocate it. Now I'm going to put this green phantom chloride quartz in its place. Point being is now this chloride quartz actually now also has Mother Nature backing it up. So the manifestation of all this will be much more apparent. I'll slide this back gingerly, just a little. Now I'm going to replace the Shungite piece. There. Scooch that out of the way. I'm going to swap that and put a snow quartz right there. I'm going to add one more piece. Add black tourmaline to it. Right behind the black obsidian there. Just double check, make sure everything okie doke. Now, the fun part. Activating this thing. Bada boom. And there it is. Whoa. So that way you can get a better view. There we go. So yes, there is the grid. And until the conflict in Ukraine is over, this grid is not coming down. It's not going anywhere until it's over. Once that war and the battle is over for good, this grid will come down. Till then, this grid is going to stay up. And until then, all that I can really say that Ukraine will not fall. It will not fall. And all that's been done to these people, there will be justice brought to them all. Oops, let me straighten around. There you go. So then there it is, the grid. I will leave it to open floor if there's any questions at all. And from there, we'll see what comes up. But this grid specifically is not going to go anywhere until that conflict's done. And there will be another working I'll be doing, but that one will not be live. And that working is a little bit more dark. Because the best way I can put it is that sometimes action has to be taken up by an individual. And what's involved in that working, let's just say it must be done. And that is all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, as for this grid for Ukraine, it is set, not going anywhere. And we will just have hope. So anyway, let's see if I can get this lowered a little bit, or it's probably good enough. So let me I was not going to be able to move. So, oh, it looks like it's stuck up there until further notice. So let me relocate you over here. Whoops. Whoops. There we go. A bit of a... Yeah, that's a bit of an extreme. Let me scoot you back a little bit. Cupcake. Thank you. Well, yes, destruction is a necessary part of nature. It is. But here's the thing. When destruction is being carried out by a force that can easily choose not to do it, that's not necessary. Taking the lives of people who could have so many things to look forward to in their life, especially children, that destruction is not necessary. That is not necessary. Because who has the right to take away somebody else's life just like that? Nobody. Nobody has the right to take life from somebody else just because of their nationality and where they're from. Especially if it's a child. That's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. Same thing goes with making the choice to pretty much literally, but thank goodness this individual survived, piloting a heavy machinery vehicle, driving it on top of a vehicle like a four-door car, crushing it, and then parking the tank on top of it. Is that necessary? No. You tell me. Is it necessary to have to go to that extreme? Was it necessary? Was it necessary to pretty much carry out such an action that literally could end a life just because willy-nilly of it, for the heck of it? Ew. Ew. Gross. What kind of human being is that? Oh, wait, that's not a human being. Don't look at me. I didn't do it. And of course, here comes the argument. Well, it's war. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you can make the choice to park a heavy machinery vehicle on top of a car that has an innocent civilian in it that doesn't want to be in the crossfire, you make the choice. You made the choice. You chose to act barbaric and intentionally baneful. You made the choice. And even also, if somebody even said, well, my commanding officer told me to do so. Okay. But you still chose to do it, right? And it doesn't matter if it's given by a commander or whoever. If deep down within you make the choice to do such thing, it comes back on you. Because that's how the karmic system works. If you make the choice to do such an action, to grotesquely kill somebody like that, next life, you'll be going through the exact same thing. Because that's just how the karmic law works. What you do in this life carries on to the next or in the future. Then you'll be put in the same situation where you might be near crushed. You won't be aware of it, but Saturn, Shani, watches every move, every little thing that happens. He takes note of it. And then when the time comes, he comes to you and hits you in the face with it. May not be now, may not be in the next life or the life after that, or heck, it might even be like in the same life that you're in, probably the next day. You might be standing minding your own business, all of a sudden you get run over by a tank. There's the karmic backlash. That's just how it works. But when it happens, just know it's coming. That's just how it is. And really, if you have the choice to decide, am I going to take this innocent civilian's life? Am I going to be shooting an elderly woman, even though she has a gun? Am I going to be shooting somebody's grandmother, grandfather? Am I going to be doing that? And I definitely understand in war, an order is an order. But deep down, do you have to pull a trigger? No, you don't. You simply can go onto where you're tasked, flee the scene. and remove any part of you associated. You can make the choice. You have the full right to decide how your life plays out. You do. If you have to give up what you have in the homeland in order to do what's right, which would you rather live with? Living with the fact that you took somebody's grandmother, took somebody's daughter's son, grandfather, or took lives of so many innocent civilians and have to live with that for the rest of your life? Because that cannot be taken back. Once you take a life, it's done. You cannot go back. And knowing that the life you took, any family members, anybody associated with them, now has to live without that individual in their life. Would you be able to live your life knowing that you took away somebody's mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, child? Would you be willing to live and know for the fact they're never going to live the same? The family members, the friends, relatives, co-workers, are you going to be able to live with that, knowing that you took life and for no real justification? That's a heavy thing to live with. And believe me, it's something you do not want to live with, knowing that you were involved in taking somebody's life that had absolutely, completely no reason for it to be taken. And I'm not trying to say this to, morally pound something in the head. No. This is the year 2022. We're not savages. We're not barbaric. We're human beings that need to understand. We know what's right, what's wrong. And if you don't, go back to the very beginning of school. The very beginning. Know what's yours, what isn't. Not to impede, and understand a boundary. And understand that, hey, there's a lot of things in this world that even I don't like. And there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to deal with it. Same thing. If you don't like another nationality, that doesn't give you a right to go in and invade. No. And regardless of what the history it is, you don't just impede on another nation just because of something that can't be helped. If you believe it's part of the land, it's not. It's not. Even if it does have like a territory that's still associated with the homeland, it's still not yours. Hate to tell you that, but besides, this was a bit of a low blow. But don't you think? I mean, this is just my loving opinion. Don't you think you guys have enough land? Don't you think you have plenty of land? Because I think isn't the motherland? Isn't that the biggest country in the world? Don't you think you got plenty? But that's none of my business. But hey. And even also the Russian civilians that also had to take the repercussions of all this, that's not fair to them. Because why do the civilians have to suffer because of this? They don't. What they rely on for basic necessities, food, shelter, clothing, and just living life, now is also in jeopardy. Why did the civilians have to suffer because of this? Civilians should never suffer. Because here's the thing. The civilians are the foundation for any civilization, any country. If they're crippled, Nothing can stand. That's basic. That's like the basic level. If you don't have a foundation, which are your people, if they're down, they can't survive. Everything that's above falls. That's just how it goes. If you don't put the people first, nothing can stand. No military, no education, no power, no government can stand. Unless the people are well, nothing can go. So there's going to be a big collapse. And it's not just. Because of the sanctions put in place, the Russian people have to suffer. And I'm not saying this at all for opposing anything, because I don't have the power to have anything be seized. I'm just saying for what it is. And if you don't like it, well, I don't like it either. But that's what's at hand, and that's how it's going. Because if it was up to me, in my opinion, and in my choice, if I was in the position, well, for one, this never would have happened. Two, any kind of hostile, aggressive, warlike action towards Ukraine ceased and stopped. And then essentially, the military that I oversaw would be going back into Ukraine and fixing and repairing all the damage being done. All of it. Every home, every building, and even also the innocent lives taken, that cannot be repaired. And all those people that passed, every soldier would go in and actually help the family members make sure that those who were killed get a proper burial. And remember because of it. And really it doesn't matter. That's how I would do it. And actually take action to rebuild the damage that's done. Or at least put it out there that it's an option. And also sincerely apologize because of a choice of somebody else. This happened. And this should never have to happen again. And there's no just cause for it. And getting rid of whatever excuse to justify it, no. Mm-mm. There is no justification in this. There is nothing to back it up. Because all that's been done, lives of both sides have been taken. Damage has been done. And civilians have to suffer. I hate to tell you this, but this is a failure for leadership. It is. It's a failure. And you can have any viewpoint you like, but for the reality of it, is this a course of action that somebody could look up to saying, yeah, I'm proud of this? Why niet? Niet waar. Niet. Why niet? I would not look up to this. I would be embarrassed and kind of, what's the word? Mortified that this action is being taken by the country's government that I'm under. And that's what I would think. And that's something you don't want your civilians to think. And a part of me also wants to say this too. History repeats itself. History likes to play out again and again and again. Existence recycles over and over again. Some way, shape, or form. How does it stop? When you become aware of it. Take for an example, 100 years ago, there was another virus outbreak. Spanish flu, if I'm not mistaken. Pandemic. World War I. World War II. Do not forget your history. Pay attention. Because once you pay attention, you come to realize, wait a minute, this is like similar to what happened 100 years ago. Because it is. It's just with a different mask on. Be aware of it. Because if you're aware, you'll be able to understand, oh, we've already gone through this. We don't need to go through it again and completely avoid it. And the Ukrainian people, they deserve so much better. They do not deserve to go through this. They do not need to wake up every day knowing, is today going to be my last day alive? That's not enjoyment. That's not enjoying life. Life is meant to be enjoyed. That's the point of it. And some people would argue, well, life is just to wake up every day, go to work, and then come back home, sleep, eat, repeat. No. No. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. And life is not about war. Life isn't about waking up and then having to go onto a battleground and think, am I going to die this day? Am I going to be able to see my spouse figure, my children, or family again? No. That's not how you should live your life. Instead, you should be having... Oh, hi, Lisa. Oh, here she is with a bottle of champagne. I'm going to grab my drink because I'm getting dry mouth. But yes, life is meant to be enjoyed to the highest degree. If you're not enjoying your life, you're not living. Having to know that pretty much you're never going to know if you're going to survive or not, that's not enjoyment. Living with bombs going off every day, that's not enjoyment. Waking up and then seeing that your child, significant other, or family member is dead, oh, that's definitely not enjoyment. Having your home be blown up, that's not enjoyment. Having to flee your home because of war and your life being put at risk, say it with me, that's not enjoyment. Well, in life, it's to be enjoyed and fulfilled. And if anybody else thinks otherwise, well, sorry. Sorry, I don't know about you, but the way that I teach and I guide people, they get taught this is your life. You decide how it goes. Most definitely, you must enjoy it. And don't let anything stop you from enjoying life otherwise. If something tries to stop you, bump it out of the way. Even if you have to tell it, oh, you're going to get in my way of my enjoyment? No, Cupcake, you can worry about your own. Don't take mine away from me. Well, you can take away it from yourself. But in all seriousness, though, Too many people are being impacted by this. And I strongly encourage, if there's any possibility, I know on Instagram, a really good friend of mine, Madam Pamita, on her bio link, there's actually a place you can donate and provide some form of assistance to Ukraine and their civilians. I strongly urge you donate if you can to assist. I even contemplated on making like t-shirts or even like t-shirts, stickers, like stuff on Teespring, and whatever gets made out of that, 100% of it goes to those in Ukraine who need it. But then again, I would have to come up with the design, but still, it's a thought that I have. Because now more than ever, all of us have to come together and keep this country standing. Even if it's not part of NATO or not, it does not matter. An innocent country is being onslaughted just because they want the land. No, that's not good enough. Nope. You have all that land over there. You can worry about that. Don't take away this land that belongs to the Ukrainian people. You look at all that land you have over there. You can keep that land, hon. You have plenty. Trust me, hon. You can go hee-hi fo fum throughout there. Let these Ukrainian people have their land and be at peace. Enough's enough. And I just have hope that my friend Vitalia is okay. I have the highest hope she's okay. More than anything, I hope she's okay. Even though I never really got to know her as much as I wanted to, because, well, immature twathead young me at the time. And as well, just growing out from high school into getting work and just growing up, kid things. Yeah. I mean, I'll even say I kind of regret it for not taking the time to appreciate what was there. Because one of the biggest and gravest mistakes that anybody can make is to not take an opportunity when it's there. And then when the time comes and you realize, oh, that's useful to me. That means something to me. It's not there anymore. And it's mortifying, at least to me, knowing that one day it might happen, but I can't say for sure. One day I have to come to the terms that option is not there anymore. And I can only blame myself for not having that experience and holding myself back from it. And that's one of the biggest regrets ever. Regretting to have an experience that you now have the desire for, and you now cannot go back to it. That goes back right from full circle to the idea life is to be enjoyed. Is really becoming more engaged in learning another language. In fact, technically it would be 3. I would say Ukrainian, Russian, and I think there's another one. But nonetheless, learning a new language or languages, is that enjoyment? Well, yes. But how can it be enjoyment? Simple. You're actually taking in and learning something that shows another way of creativity, another way of expressing yourself, another way of communicating with another person, another way to create art in a way that other people in a different language or part of the world, they can take it and actually understand it and appreciate it. While in the other way, they would not be able to appreciate it 100% because they couldn't understand it. But now you're actually able to take it and have it be more widespread. Getting getting admiration, being applauded, and being told how good your work is, not just in English, but in Ukrainian, Russian, any of those other Slavic languages, that's enjoyment. And not only that, the Slavic languages, like Russian, Ukraine, what I love about those languages is that when they speak, it's firm and to the point. It's also expressive. Like, for an example, like, I don't know if you can tell. Yep. And also learning the culture. That's another big one. Because at least how in Russian culture, I can't really say about Ukrainian culture because I'm not really fully knowledgeable of it. But I could assume somewhat the idea of having really strong conservative views, but not like conservative as in being like really like overly strict, but having the idea of like having a higher sense of self and self dignity. But also when you're going to another person's home, the strong urgency to treat them as a guest and giving them the best service that you can from your household. For an example, in Russian culture, if you go to another individual's house, they will, when they cook, they are essentially becoming like the servant. They give you as much food as you can. The table for the food, the table is completely full of food. The first course comes, you enjoy the first course. Then there's the vodka. Have your vodka shot. Next course, and of course the vodka shot is meant to cleanse the palate, put it back to its purest state, so that way the next course can come in, be fully enjoyed. Again, vodka down. Next course, and it keeps going until the last course is served. And the way that is, that's a really tight bonding between people that attend. And that's the kind of coming together that really the world should have. But not just with like just one country's civilians, but the whole world should come together and just serve one another and have enjoyment instead of having to worry about being bombed and even having the civilians have to suffer. We're not in we're not in something like 1984. We're not in that idea of Big Brother's watching. Don't I think it's time we kind of stop the suffering. I think it's time because we can clearly see it has not worked. And by suffering, I'm talking about the kind of suffering that's being inflicted for no just reason. For example, shooting a child. Was that necessary? And also typing in a war, like I said, is it necessary to shoot a child that's not armed? No, because shooting a child. Okay, Shani saw that, and then later on down the line, or next life, or even another life, ahead. It'll come right around. Then you, when you're a child in a future life, you'll get shot the exact same way. And actually, usually it might be actually the child you shot in the past life, now coming in a future life, then to shoot you as a child. That's how the karmic balance works. It recycles itself and it doesn't stop until you realize, oh, I did that. Well, this life, I'm going to abstain from repeating the pattern. It's a very difficult thing to do. Once you're aware, you'll be able to avoid it. Oh. Excuse me. But what I'll most definitely say is that Ukraine is not going to fall. We do not have time for any more of this suffering, and the Ukrainian people don't need to suffer anymore. Enough's enough. And oh, boo-hoo if you're having to keep pushing to take over an innocent country and their land. Boo-hoo! Worry about your own land. You have plenty. You have plenty. There's even some parts of your country that have not even been inhabited yet. So why take from an already established country's land if you've got so much room? I mean, I'm not a world leader or a politician or anything, but that's none of my business. You have your own land. Worry about your land. Ukrainian people have theirs. Leave it be. If you cannot do that, then yup, off the chair of power then. And don't have to like it. That's not the point. There's a lot of things I don't like in life either, but hey, I dealt with them. Even positions where I thought and I knew I deserved it, didn't get them. I didn't get my way. So what? Boo-hoo. Sometimes you try hard and push hard for something you want, you don't get it. Even when it's just for you. Even when you were supposed to get it. Nope. Here it is again. Deal with it. Ukrainian people will not lose their country. They're not going to lose their country. And that's it. No ifs, ands, buts, or tushies. Don't have to like them. No, well. We can all see the repercussions already what's going on. And it's not fair to even the Russian people. The civilians. It's not fair to them. It's not. Oh. So. I can't think of anything else to say. But as I was saying, this grid is not coming down until the war is over. Until the war is over and done with, this grid's not going anywhere. It's going to stay up until the war is done. And if I feel I need to add anything to it, I will. Even if I have to ask assistance from the Goetic, from any of the Goetic divines, oh, you better believe I will. Because I already have a few that I would be going to and asking for assistance from. But from that, I would like black and white. Oh, actually, I think that would be the High Priestess. Here, let me see. But yeah, the Hierophant, I believe. Actually, I think the Hierophant actually would be somewhat associated with that sect of um like Christianity, I believe, like how the Russians have their own, or I can't remember which one, but they have like their own unique way of Christianity and how they teach it and how they go about it. So I could see the resemblance to that there. Oh, here we go. Oh, whoops. The camera's right here, but see? There's the High Priestess. There's the He Who font. Yeah, the He Who font has the same color. And actually, I think, even they even look like they're Russian Orthodox right there. Here, but the High Priestess has a black and white one. And actually, okay, I don't know what. I mean, I just got a sudden urge just to pull some cards. So, okay, fine then. Let's pull some card stock then. Let's have an investigation with the C on how this grid is going to work. So let's see. For Ukraine, what is the current position and current standing of Ukraine as of now, this very moment? Current position for Ukraine is the Six of Pentacles. So essentially, there is fair, just, not too more, not too less, of financial stability and practical support being given, especially to those that are civilians and in poverty. They're being supported. Good. That's how it should be. Going to be encountering, or the crossing energy will be the Fool. So Ukraine will be encountering something with unlimited potential, or they're going to be encountering something that will give so much motivation. But as well, since the Fool is also the card of essentially eternity, essentially Ukraine will be encountering something that'll be lifelong, something that is eternal. Or they're going to be encountering something that's going to be giving everlasting hope and motivation. Or pretty much, essentially, they'll be encountering something that's going to be ever inspiring and have everlasting potential to grow into something great. The cause of all this. Knight of Blades. Wind and wind. Cause of all this is something being carried out or acted upon just on a whim and suddenly without any thinking. More like shooting first, then asking the questions. So I don't think I have to explain that one. What is behind or backing up? Backing up Ukraine is the King of Wands. Fire and fire. So, fire and fire. A King of Wands. So backing up Ukraine is this force that has a lot of optimism. And also is leading by example. Ukrainian president actually going in and taking up arms himself. Sounds like a King of Wands to me. On top of the head, or the most desired outcome that has the most potential to happen as desired. We have Seven of Pentacles. An investment that has to be worked on and have patience with comes to fruition. What is coming inbound? Two of Cups. Essentially, there is going to be a restoration, and there actually be return of nourishment between those in power of Ukraine and then the civilians. Essentially, there is going to be a nourishment being restored to everyone that's involved. Self-perception of Ukraine, how the Ukrainian people see themselves right now. Ace of Twigs, Ace of Wands. They're speaking loud and carrying a big stick. Like literally picking up the biggest stick they can and swinging it. They're not going down without a fight. They're going to go out swinging, and they're not going to give no rats tushies of who gets in the way. They're not going to go down without any kind of a fight at all. Outside perception. Whoop! Outside perception. King of Blades. Yep. We got fire and air. We have the two masculine kings in the spread. So the outside perception, other countries see them as like, oh, whoa. They're not going out without a fight. What they are hoping for, but also definitely afraid of. Oh, me back. They're hoping for, but also definitely afraid of the Seven of Blades. They're hoping to be able to walk away from this, but also in a way that's kind of you guys suck. They're hoping to walk away in victory and kind of give like a bit of a look to whoever they were opposing. But now they are also definitely afraid of defeat at the same time. The outcome that's most likely to come about. She who is not having it. Queen of Sass. Queen of Swords. Looks like Ukraine is going to behead him. You know how she's holding a guy's head? Yeah. You have the Queen of Swords as the outcome. Ukraine is not going to go down. That's what I can say. Clarify. Clarify she who's most hasty, please. The assassin and the emperor. Queen of Swords with the emperor. Good luck. Good luck taking that down. And then the Six of Twigs for victory. I don't think it gets more crystal clear than that. You have the Queen of Swords, who's literally one of the queens is not afraid to take down anyone. Then you have the Commander-in-Chief Emperor. With the Six of Wands saying, oh, there's a win. Seven of Wands again. Ukraine's not going down without a fight. How should Ukraine proceed to ensure that outcome comes about? Give me three, please. One. Keep working at it. Eight of Pentacles. Keep working. Keep going. Keep going. Stay focused. Don't get sidetracked. Keep focused on the goal at hand and don't let up. Number two. Eight of Blades. Don't think that you're being suppressed. Don't be thinking that there's nothing you can do. They're trying to make you think that. Do not let them think that. Don't falter because of the mind games being played. Nope. Don't got time for that. Wheel of Fate. Looks like Divinity is backing it up. So, for that outcome, stay focused. Don't get sidetracked. Don't get poisoned by any kind of illogical BS that's being put on. And know that Divinity and Fate is backing Ukraine up. So I have to say Ukraine's in the clear. So give me two more for... Actually, make it three. Three for the other side of the hand. One. Oh. Oh. Oh, man. No. Oh, man. That's not... The other side. The Two of Pentacles. Unstable. Next card. The Hermit. Solitude. That's what's going on. Last card. The devil. This is not a good devil. Suppression. Restriction. Being bound to toxicity. Tomosity. That's not good. I don't even want to say the next card. Because it's just fine. 2 blades. Not wanting to listen. Not wanting to realize, oh, what we're doing is not good. 5 of Cups comes after. And that 5 of Cups then comes Tower. What falls then? This deck is not really like them. What follows is Judgment. What remains is the 9 of Wands. It just keeps getting worse. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Because, yeah, Ukraine has the cards at hand that are saying that they're going to pull through. So, anybody that's from Ukraine that's watching this, just know, at least I can speak for myself, we got this. You will survive. And those that passed and had their lives taken prematurely because of all this, none of them are forgotten. None of them. From innocent to soldier to even the civilians who took up arms and died fighting. None of them, not one, will be forgotten. Not any of them. And even if I don't know any of them, it doesn't matter. Because what I will say is that they're still alive. They may not be alive on this earth, but they're alive in here. Alive in memory. And because of that, they'll always be alive. And nothing and nobody will take that away. All you have to do is just remember. Because without them, Ukraine won't be how it will be in the future. Free of this. They will not be forgotten. And of those of you who are fighting, be safe, be strong. And Ukrainian people and the country have faith in you. They believe in you. You got this. Stay strong, stay safe.